Hello, everybody on YouTube, or if you're watching us on Facebook and all those other places, you can reach us there as well. I'm now getting a message telling us that LinkedIn is not working properly, so you might not be watching us on LinkedIn. Not sure what's going on there, but apologies if you are trying to watch there. Can't really do anything about that right now. Anyway, it's Friday. It's live website review day, which means if you've submitted your website in advance via the form below in the description, we'll be taking a look at as many websites as we can squeeze into a 60-minute time period. If you are going to join us today and you are active in the chat, you will have an opportunity to win a copy of this, How to Get to the Top of Google. All you have to do is leave a comment, whether that's to tell me where you're watching from today, or whether that's to tell me how much you're enjoying the stream. Whatever it is, it's all counting towards winning that prize. So first off, we're going to ask you where you're watching from today. Tell me, are you watching from somewhere else in Edinburgh or somewhere else in Scotland or somewhere else in the UK? You're watching us from India, Pakistan, South Africa, New Zealand, North America, South America. Tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to know. We've got a few people coming through already. Hey, Hamza. Hey, how you doing? Great to see you. If time allows, can we review a website? The only way to get your website reviewed is to submit it through the form underneath in advance of the stream. Otherwise, you can just request a personalized, bespoke review of your website via the form on our website. Just go to exposureninja.com/review and you'll be able to do just that. Hello, Aspect Wall Art. We have Chase Gordon saying brands by Gordon as well. Super. Yeah, great to see you all. Do keep telling me where you're watching from. I'm always super interested to see where people are catching our live streams, but we're not here to talk about that. We're, of course, here to talk about your websites. And today we're going to be joined by Nick Jacob. Hello, Nick Jacob. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, and good afternoon, Dale, and everyone in the chat. Pleasure to be here today.
Super. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Can't complain at all. It's got really cold all of a sudden, hasn't it? Like, I feel like in the last week, it's literally gone from being somewhat all right to now being around about 3 degrees. So apart from a little bit cold, can't complain. What about you?
Yeah, same. It's a little bit cold, but you know, I'm doing all the appropriate things, such as wearing as many layers as I can possibly fit in my body before I start turning into the Michelin Man. Yeah, normally I would have an extra hoodie maybe on top of this one, but you know, you got to rep the merch, so cast that to the side. Anyway, we're here to talk about websites. So, Nick, you've picked out a couple of websites from the submissions earlier. So, yeah, should we get started and you show me the first one?
Let's dive straight into it. Can you see my screen?
Super, we can. All 15,000 tabs.
All 15,000 tabs. There were a lot. I wanted to do a little bit of preliminary research for today's webinar. So, yeah, dive straight into it.
Please do.
Cool. So, as you can probably see, the moment we come across this website, it is a dental insurance website. And pretty much the way this sort of business model works, it's a bit of a referral site, so affiliate marketing. People come across, they're looking for a way to aggregate their searches to basically find the best dental plan. What this website will then, of course, do is provide them with the right plan based on what they've entered in. So with affiliate marketing or referral sites, it just allows you to really target a wide portion of different search terms, lots of sort of really broad search terms to get them back to the site, and then, of course, to put them into that quoting process. So I'm a really big fan of affiliate or referral sites in general. I think they're really exciting. And when this website submitted itself for today's review, normally they give us a bit of an idea into is enough traffic, enough sales. And with this one, it was other. So I'm not really too sure around the main goals. So I'm going to be painting this one with a bit of a broader stroke into just going through quite a lot of detail into it. So have you got any thoughts, Dale? The first time you come across this site, what is your initial thoughts on maybe the conversion rate or the way it's set out? Or
do you know what? I'm trying to fix the LinkedIn stream because it's not working. So I'm currently trying to get that fixed. So I'm not really focused on that, but I can say that the Better Business Bureau, the BBB rating is super. Trust signal to me. So, you know, coming onto this, I mean, admittedly, I'd want my my heading and my call to action on the reverse on the left-hand side and perhaps move that to the opposite side or put that underneath. But I totally approve of that. But in terms of like the rest of that site, I have no idea. I'll get back to you on it.
Cool. Well, I have a few first key recommendations, which I'll definitely dive into. So one thing to know about this site the moment you come across, like Dale said, it's got a pretty clear benefits positioning statement text. The moment we come across, we know exactly what it's about. Compare dental plan prices side by side and save. So again, that's going for that angle of providing the value to the end user of you're looking for a dental plan, you need to know exactly what's going to be involved. So how much is it going to cost me? One of the big opportunities really for this site, I mean, it's got some good credibility. So Delta Dental, Nationwide, Humana, Guardian Direct, Carrington, but it's also actually got some really good Trustpilot reviews. I was taking a look at these before jumping onto the stream, and this is something I recommend to quite a lot of business owners, whether it's in lead generation websites or e-commerce websites. If you have the reviews and credibility from third-party platforms, whether it's Google My Business, Facebook, or of course Trustpilot, you really want to make sure that that's super, super clear. And it's actually going to be one of the first things in which they see when they come across the sites. I've seen really good websites actually include these within the website header as well. So, as you're scrolling down, you can always reference these reviews. And so I think that's a really good area of opportunity for this website, at least for a little bit of a quick win into helping to just take that trust to the next level the moment people come across. I want to talk about the actual quoting process in a second, but one thing to just note is I see this quite a lot with websites as well, especially affiliate type style sites or lead generation sites, which are trying to position themselves as a thought leader in a space. If we scroll down, there's a lot of black text on white background. It's good to see that we do, of course, have subheadings, but the reality is no one's going to read this text. It's so overwhelming, and it's probably there more for an SEO perspective as opposed to providing value to the end user. But again, the reality is you need to make sure that the copy on the site it's informative, it's useful, people want to spend the time to read it. So really breaking down large pages of websites like this with color schemes, content blocks, it's a really great way to just segment that core information. So that's a bit of an overview into, I guess, the homepage of the site. Now, a big part of this is, of course, getting people into that initial quoting process. So as you can see there, I just clicked on the call to action, shop for dental plans. Now, it would actually be good to get people's initial reactions and what they think about this actual quoting process. I've got some really good examples I want to show you, but to me, it seems a little bit overwhelming to begin with. What do you think, Dale?
Yeah, I was about to ask the chat. Come on, chat, tell me, is this a good or a bad looking form in your opinion? Do you think this is going to convert really high? Say yes. You think it's going to convert absolutely nothing at all, maybe 0.1%? Say so. So is it going to convert? Yes or no? Is it good looking? Yes or no? Freddie's saying yes, but I believe that to be about the Exposure Ninja branded Udis. That we're going to take a look at merch in the near future. Perhaps we could do that. Speaking of Udis, there's actually soon we're going to be doing a marketing review of the Udis website and their marketing strategy. So awesome. If you're not subscribed yet, do hit subscribe down below or follow us wherever you're watching us on Facebook, Twitter, but clearly not LinkedIn because I'm going to get it to work. You'll be able to see that. But we're getting a couple of opinions here. So Jess says the form feels overwhelming to me. Paul saying lousy looking form, probably a poor conversion rate. We've got Roxy saying not great. John, one of our YouTube members, saying too messy. Phil saying too complicated, bland colors, low conversion rate. Nick, what do you think?
I would have to agree. I would definitely have to agree. And I mean, I've got a few gripes with this lead generation process. Again, it is asking for a lot of information. There doesn't really seem to be too much of a flow for it. And for sites such as this, you've got two different sides to it. You need to have enough information to be able to turn them into a lead, to pass them off to businesses in which you're referring leads across to. But if there's too much information, it's going to harm your conversion rates. Or if there's too many steps they need to take, it's going to harm their conversion rates. So finding a good mix between the two about getting the necessary amount of information and then making sure it's still a streamlined process is super, super important. A really good example actually for a website which does this well is actually Delta Dental, which is one of, I think there actually might be a service provider for this website. But just the actual flow is a lot more streamlined. So we can see straight away from the homepage, we're breaking things down really nicely. Individuals and families, you're a small business, you're a retiree, I can go through those steps. One thing which, again, this site could actually do with a bit of work here as well is making sure that those calls to actions or those next steps are in the above the fold space. It's not, we do have to scroll down to take that next step. But as we do move down, we do have this search functionality here. So let's just assume I am from Illinois for the sake of it. But as we go through that process, we're then, we're going into a really nice breakdown. I can see the prices, I can see the benefits, I can see the various different features. And when I was taking a look through the other sites, just the actual flow to it was just really messy. And for a website which is going to be generating all of its revenue through affiliates and referrals, making sure that quoting process is super streamlined is really important. And another really good website that does this well is, of course, GoCompare. I think we've spoken about GoCompare on the stream quite a lot, Dale. But again, you can compare the cover. You can go through the process. You know exactly where you are in each time. They're asking relevant questions, of course, to provide you with those quotes, but just the actual quote process is super duper.
Is there any decent honey codes for GoCompare? Or?
Not sure. Very low chance of coupon success. Maybe some free excess cover though. Cool.
I was just thinking of like another example of a good looking form. Have you got any to hand that you can think of?
So good looking lead generation form.
Because I've got one, I can share my screen now. So House Buyer Bureau is one of our clients that we've been working with for maybe 2 years now. So I'm just going to share how their form works. So this is how the website works. You just start by typing your address. And I think this is how the majority of website forms should work. So I'm just going to type in a fictional website address, 98 Bury Road. Yep, sure, that'll do. Get my free cash offer. And then the next screen is the next question. So instead of overwhelming people with like 15 questions in a form to do, and that could put people off. Like some of the people commenting in the live chat today have said it's just overwhelming. Like Jess from our marketing team has said, listen, that form is overwhelming. Whereas one question at a time is not overwhelming. That feels like really simple. That's something I can easily do. And you aren't really sure how many questions are coming up. You could have like 15 different questions coming up, but you don't know. So you just click the answer. Right, it's detached. Next. How many bedrooms does it have? It has 221 bedrooms. Why are you selling? It's an empty property. It's really simple, really not overwhelming, and you're going to get a higher conversion rate doing a question by question form than you are by just having a 25 field form asking for pretty much the same information, but just too much going on. So if you do have a form on your website, if it's above the fold on your key landing pages, you might only have 3 questions. That's fine, and I can show you plenty of our client websites that convert really high with just a few questions. But if you have more questions or a complicated form, it's far easier, and you're going to get a higher conversion rate if you just split that out one question at a time. Nick, back over to you.
Cool. Let's jump onto it. I think I'm sharing the wrong screen.
It's all good.
So, I guess just to quickly summarize, as Dale definitely said, yes, having a really just super slick, streamlined process, especially if you do have a lot of options and information you need to gather, it's going to prevent overwhelm and hopefully get more people into the actual beginning part of the sales funnel. I want to talk a little bit around traffic and what this website's doing. Again, with when you come to affiliate marketing or sort of search engine or comparison sites, it might be that paid advertising is a good route to go down, but it all depends on things such as your cost per acquisition, cost per click. And if it's super competitive, then, with any industry, really investing harder into search engine optimization and content marketing could be a really exciting route to explore. Now, the SEO or the keywords this website is ranking for, it's all right. They're generating a fairly decent amount of traffic, around about 16,000 searches coming back across on a monthly basis. We can see that things have been a little bit sporadic with this actual traffic. We've had some highs of around about 53,000. It does look like things are starting to peter off quite a bit to 16,000. But there is just a huge amount of traffic available within this specific niche. There's, high commercial intent keywords such as what is the best dental insurance? There's find a dentist near me. That could take you across to a page where you type in what it is you're looking for and by a postcode, and then that can provide you with a list of those dental plans in the area. And a lot of these keywords they're ranking for, they're just really not high enough yet within the top positions to get most of that traffic back to their site. And when I conduct website reviews for people who submit them, one of the main things or biggest areas of opportunity I normally look for is the keywords the site's already ranking for. So Google already has a clear idea into what it's about, but it's just not high enough up yet to really make the most of those searches. So I'd say that really moving forward, really focusing on getting the correct keywords onto the right pages, making sure the website's like foundation, the on-site SEO is really solid is going to be really important. But then in a really competitive niche such as this as well, really focusing on the offsite SEO, so the content marketing, getting more links back to the website is going to be really, really important. And if we just take a look at one of the competitors, such as Delta Dental, we can see that the traffic they're generating is massive. It's just over 2 million on a monthly basis, whereas this website's been a little bit of a downward trajectory. We can see Delta Dental is just going on that upward incline, and they're in the top spots for a lot of their branded search terms, which is good to see. But again, keywords such as dentist near me, which is going to be driving them a lot of people looking for the exact type of services which they offer. So a lot of big opportunities in SEO within this marketplace.
The one thing I would say, if you just stay with our form for just a moment, is you can see that from like September, maybe October of last year, they've started to have these increases. I think, Nick, you maybe agree with me that these things don't just happen overnight. That it comes from having 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 months of research and SEO or on-site optimization, new link building done way in advance. Like, these things don't just happen overnight. And that's the kind of thing that we recommend, or we do for our clients as well. So if you are seeing these kinds of increases for your competitor sites, or you want to earn these kinds of increases for your own website, I'd highly recommend putting in the work now to earn the benefits later on. So if you have like a high growth goal for 2022, you need to be putting in the time and the financial resources now to earn that those increases.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I think we've actually got a video on the process of how long does SEO take. And one of the great quotes Tim says in it, I do believe, is when was the best time to get started with SEO? Well, it was, of course, yesterday, because it is always a longer term process. So yeah, if you've got those goals for the future, you absolutely want to smash the end of 2022 out of the park, really starting to ramp up their traffic. And the best time to begin was probably yesterday. So yeah, really getting started as soon as you can is important. There was one other thing I wanted to show you all on this particular website, because really for a website or a business model such as this, there's a lot of value-led content which you need to provide. And there's a lot of, again, organic traffic you can generate, because it's people typing in those search terms such as, what is dental insurance? What is the best dental insurance in my area? How much does dental insurance cost? It's those longer tail keywords or the informational search terms, which is a great way to get you back into that beginning process of the sales funnel. So on the website which was submitted, dentalinsurance.com, they have some blog content. I really do think that from a pro perspective, breaking these down could be...
From a what perspective?
A little bit better. A crow perspective, conversion rate optimization.
Conversion rate optimization. Do you know what? We're going to have to ban these guys. I can't think of the word.
Anagrams?
Abbreviation.
No, anagrams.
Anagram. Yeah, that word. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's a Friday afternoon. What do you want from me? But yeah.
So, pro. Conversion
rate optimization. That's the one.
Exactly. And to layman's that even a bit more, it's all to do with the tweaks and changes you make on the website to try and improve the efficiency of your pages, helping to boost up your conversion rates. So hopefully that explains it for anyone who wasn't aware what crow was. But yeah, I mean, with blog content pages, you still want to use this as an opportunity to funnel people into email marketing as a way to generate leads. On this particular page, there's really not many calls to actions. I think that hopefully there's one at the bottom. No, there isn't. So these blog pages, they're really not going to be generating many leads likely for this actual business. And again, just using one of the examples, so how to choose a dental insurance plan, whilst they are a little bit lacking on some of their calls to actions, the way these blog content pieces are laid out, we've got some really informative videos. We're breaking things down with subheadings. It's not as much of a nightmare to read. I think there's still some tweaks and changes you can make to these pages, but really you just need to make sure that on your blog content, on your blog pages, you're really having strong calls to actions. I think I may have shown a good example of this before, but on the Exposure Ninja website, we do this really, really well. Good job to you, Dale, and the rest of the Exposure Ninja website development team.
Flattering.
But and yeah, well done to Jess as well for writing this article. I had to read through this the other day. It was a great one.
Superb article.
Yeah, really good. And if you are wanting to generate more backlinks to your site, definitely check this article out. But yeah, on the right hand side of the screen, we've always got this lead generation contact form to get people into our email marketing list. And if you don't have these sort of things on your blog pages, it can really just decrease the efficiency, basically. So there's a way you can improve the efficiency overall. Definitely start to look into doing that.
Yeah, if you scroll down further, you'll see that there are like multiple calls to action here. So we've got the marketing tips, which is basically our newsletter signed up on the right-hand side. And if you scroll down in between all these pieces, you have this, which is get our book, How to Get to the Top of Google for free. So that's the 2021 edition. You can get a free PDF copy of that. And that pops up 2 or 3 times in the content, depending on the length. And one rule of thumb I always have is have it in every third of the content. So after the first third, drop it in. After the second third, drop it in. After the very end, you want your either repeat of that call to action or a different call to action, sometimes something that's specific to that blog post. So in this case, because it was a very long piece of content, because Jess put in a lot of really hard work on that, we had an opportunity to drop it in more than once. So I would advise the same. You really have to nail your calls to action, make them stand out. It's not enough to just have a link, because people are scanning through websites really quickly, especially if you're a seasoned internet user like I am, who's been using the internet for 30 years or whatever it's been. You just scan, and a link just is easily missed, whereas something that pops off the screen image-wise is going to catch your attention. So, improve your calls to actions.
Improve your calls to actions. And definitely, I mean, I just love the way our blog page is laid out as well. Just, you know exactly what you're reading about due to the great headers which are implemented, and breaking things down into subheaders as well. So there definitely is a good argument for making sure you spend the time to get a good template for your blog content and sticking to that as well across the site, so it's branded on each of the pages as well. So that's taking a look through the first website I wanted to show everybody. Let's move on, shall we, Dale?
You're going to be giving your computer a bit of a break after closing all those pages.
I can hear it chugging away, yes.
Yeah. To anyone who was asking about which software we were just using there to review organic keywords and keyword visibility and stuff like that, that's a tool called SE Ranking, which you are able to try for free via the website bestninjatool.com. So beneath us there's a banner. If you just see the address there, bestninjatool.com, you'll be able to try it for I think 21 days completely for free. Do all of your keyword research and get out of there, or competitor research and get out of there. But I almost guarantee that you'll want to subscribe, because it's super useful and actually like really affordable too.
Yeah, no, it is a fantastic tool, definitely. Just the level of information you can go into, especially not just for your site, but for your competitors as well, which I think was the really exciting analysis to be had. So yeah, definitely check it out. So yes, let's move on to a new site. I want to see if you guys can get a bit of an idea into what this is, just by a quick glance. I'm going to jump off it. Write your responses in the chat.
Yeah, go on, tell me in the chat. What do you think this website is about? Maybe throw it up for another 3 seconds and then take it off again.
I think that was 3.
Okay. That'll do. Go on, chat. Tell me, what do you think our website is about? Natural grower. I don't know. Sounds like maybe like health food kind of thing. We get a seed, organic food from Jess. Growing flowers from Christy. Anybody else with any ideas? Visually kind of telling me something organic, something health-based, or at least like environmentally focused, but the products I'm not completely sure.
Cool. Well, let's kill the suspense. So this is a natural fertilizer product. So essentially buy it, put it onto your plants, and the idea is that it's going to help to really make them grow and just look 1,000 times better, basically. I don't actually have a garden because I live in the flat, but I'm sure if I
gonna buy you some window boxes for Secret Santa this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely do actually. It's really weird actually. In our balcony, we've got like a little piece of fake turf grass, and it's absolutely horrible. And I don't know why we haven't got rid of it. But anyway, it's a little bit of a side story. So, yeah, I had a question for you, Dale, regarding this site. And I see this quite a lot, actually, especially on e-commerce sites as opposed to lead generation sites. We can see that it's not going for a full width featured layout. So we've just got all the information right in the center, and that's across the rest of the site. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, there's 2 things. First of all, this design is very much 2011 or earlier, where we used to have this called, I think it's called sandbox or box design, where basically you would have like in the sidebars, not much, because you couldn't guarantee how big everybody's monitor was. So you would just have this like empty space. And that's the first thing. The second thing is that this kind of layout can actually really narrow your focus. So you're only really looking at the information that's in front of you. However, I don't know how responsive this is. Because my immediate thought is that there's a lot of unused space where you could be communicating other things. Is it because they're expecting people to be coming through mobile? Does it work mobile? Yes, but is the design or usage of space optimal? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? It definitely does look a little bit better on mobile as opposed to desktop.
Absolutely. That comes back to that kind of like 10 years ago when we had tiny monitors compared to now where everything is like the size of a house. So it would have been totally fine. But yeah, I'm thinking like there's so much space you can have dedicated to product photos, deeper explanations of what things look like. I mean, I'm sure you've got 100 ideas to tell us about.
Yeah, sure. And one thing which I do want to say, I do really like the branding on this site. I think it's done really well because, of course, it's all to do with natural fertilizer, and the way in which the logo is created, the way you've kind of got these sort of hand drawn image styles explaining the benefits behind it. I think this is really cool. So. If you're in the chat and you've done your branding, let us know. And well, if you're in the chat anyway and this is your website, let us know. But yeah, I do have to say I'm a really big fan of this. I think it conveys the tone of what your products are really, really, really nicely. So great job there. So the person who submitted this website was saying they weren't getting enough traffic. So I want to talk about traffic driving activities. But again, I think there are a few just quick core improvements for this website. So I'm just quickly going to go
conversion rate optimization. That was
conversion rate optimization improvements. It's the digital marketing jargon, isn't it? We just get so used to saying it all the time.
Yeah, especially SEO. I'm saying SEO for the last, I don't know, 7 years. Yeah. Just presume everybody knows what I'm talking about.
No, absolutely. I think it's all the Slack messages as well, sending across the other ninjas.
GA and GA this, PPC that. Like, oh yeah.
Half the time I'm not even sure what I'm saying, but cool. So yeah, conversion rate optimization, all to do with increasing your conversion rate, making the website work harder for you with the traffic you're already generating. Now, I know this was a bit more of a thing years ago, having the sort of hamburger icon. Click it and you can check out all the various different breakdowns. We would recommend moving away from that and having a sticky header with an e-commerce benefits bar and these navigational points running along the top of the website header too. The reality is some people genuinely don't know that this is actually where you need to click to break down the various different product categories. So that's going to be a bit of a conversion blocker in a way. But it's also not really just going to showcase different places I can go on the site. I don't know that you've got a blog. I don't know the About Us section. I don't know the contact page. I don't know the different product categories you've got. So by just changing that, making sure the actual website header is always on display, we can see it as we're scrolling down. It's really important just to help the user experience on the site as well.
Yeah, this comes back to choosing website development agency, web design agency that actually understands all these things like conversion rate optimization, but also user experience, how people use websites, as well as SEO, like understanding how search engines work. A web design agency doesn't really understand all this, what we call fundamentals, the basics, the best practices. Do things like use a hamburger icon because they're we're supposed to use create a responsive website. They've built it for mobile and not really thought about how desktop is going to work, and the experience is bad. And people, not everybody knows that hamburger menu is clickable, or that's where it is. Like, stop. You should never presume to know how people use the internet. Like, you should actually do all the research beforehand. And in our case, with our website design team, we've got all that research across hundreds of websites, which then influences every single one of our builds. And then they end up being high converting either lead generation websites or e-commerce stores. So yeah, make sure when you're doing research and choosing web design agency that they put the research in, they understand what you're saying when you say CRO or CRO or however you prefer to say it, that they understand what UX is and they put that effort in. Because otherwise you can end up with a website that looks like this, which could convert so much higher, I expect.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point, Dale. It's excuse me, it's finding the balance between having a site which looks fantastic but is built in a way to convert that traffic. And yeah, quite frequently I do see a lot of sites come in for reviews that you can tell it might have been built by like a branding agency, because it looks pretty cool, but user experience wise, I have no idea where I'm going. I don't know how to get to a path to make a sale or to purchase something. And that leads all of our website builds at Exposure Ninja. It's that pathway to turn it into a business tool and then making it look fantastic as well. So best of both worlds, of course.
Absolutely.
So some other things which this website could really do with, let's jump across to the product page. Now, this is actually a product page. We don't have an above the fold prioritized layout, unfortunately. And just to clarify what above the fold means, essentially it's the first thing people see when they come across to your website. You always want to make sure you're optimizing pages with an above the fold prioritized layout. So we have that key information directly in people's eye line. You don't want to have to get people to scroll around to try and find the buy now buttons, the add to cart buttons, or to find the key information. So that would be my first recommendation for this site, making sure that the product images, the product information, the add to basket buttons, the reviews are going to be moved up, and we can actually see this the moment we come across.
How much is that?
You don't have to scroll around. $12.99.
$12.99. Okay.
I'm not too sure. Is that a good price for fertilizer or?
Not the right person to ask. I too have not got a garden. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. Is that a good price for natural liquid fertilizer? Are there any plantaholics, or I don't really know the word for people that are into plants? Would Christy ask a question? Would using images of real gardens work better than drawings? Well, that really comes down to your branding and how you want to sell yourself. And I can see what they've chosen to do to go that way, because it really pops and it catches your eye. It's really colorful. But yeah, could they be doing both? Yeah, I think they absolutely could. Like if you're going to start with the image above the fold, which I don't think is best, you could condense that down to just the logo area could be that colorful, just a couple of flowers popping out, and then the image immediately underneath could be a beautiful looking garden or something like that. So you can still have that, but probably not as much in your face. Cool.
No, definitely. And I think another recommendation we make quite a lot is to have, again, on the product pages, just so people can really just quickly understand what the benefits are behind this product, is to include like bullet points or check marks. A really good example of this actually would probably be on the homepage. So be a smart gardener, slow release for sustained growth, love your land, embrace sustainability. With these little logo icons, it'd be great to see that just really nicely shown above the fold on these product pages. And I think there are a few more conversion rate optimization recommendations I'd like to make. But this specific business was asking more around how to generate traffic. So let's dive into that and jump back.
Before we do, I just want to switch over to my screen. So I'm going to share a website that we reviewed earlier in the week. So this is Hort Hijab, which is a company that Tim reviewed on Wednesday. So if you haven't gone back to and seen that, go to our YouTube channel and you'll be able to see it. It's a very short video, just like 11 minutes long. It's fantastic. And they talk about Tim's picked this out as like one of his favorite product pages. Like he really, really likes them. And the price here is like $20. That works out about $14. Now it's a bit different because you're buying clothing here. It's fashion. However, you're trying to convince somebody to buy something, you can really put the effort into your product pages. And on here, you don't necessarily have to have 6 different images of the bottle and what the bottle looks like, but you can show images of the results of you using the products. What you need to do is sell the benefits of it, not the features. So the bottle is what it comes in, but that's not the result. You show people how great the flowers can look after your flower beds or whatever you're doing can look after using the products. And as Nick has pointed out here, you can do so much more with product descriptions. You've got bullet points here; they're really quick to understand. Short copy, and a really good thing with like bullet points or like key tip to remember is like try and keep it underneath 7 words where possible because it's faster to scan. Materials and care, again, more bullet points. We've got a little GIF here. Obviously not going to have a GIF. I presume you're not going to add a GIF of walking around your garden or flower beds and stuff like that, but going the extra mile might actually make your fertilizer stand out more than your competition. So it doesn't take a lot to create a little GIF like this and just add it into your product images. Sure, they spend a lot more on this website than perhaps a fertilizer company is going to spend on their own. However, it's the stuff like this that makes people want to make that purchase. It's selling the product and the benefits really, really well. High quality imagery, really nice layout, and just making it really clear what the benefits are of that product in bullet point form, in image form, GIF form, video form, you name it. That website should be looking, or e-commerce stores should really be looking at Hijab as an example of like, this is how strong a website can be. It doesn't matter what your price point is. $20 is not expensive. Look how much effort they've gone into for a $20 item. If you're selling anything higher than that value, your website should be at the minimum looking as good as this. And that's my rant for the day. We're going to switch back over, Nick. All right.
Very, very well said. Very well said. I actually used that as an example in a review I sent across the other day, and that video Tim put together. Yeah, it's a super good example of a really great built website, but also the marketing in which they implemented as well. It's super exciting. So definitely check that out. It's one of the no-cut teardowns, isn't it, Dale? I think so.
I have myself muted. Yeah, it's a no-cut teardown. So we do those every Wednesday. They're about 10 minutes in length, where Tim just does exactly the same as our marketing review. So if you request a marketing review today, exposureninja.com/review, you'll get a similar video, but better, by Nick or some of the other marketing consultants from our team, where they'll give you recommendations on how to reach your goals of increasing your ranking, your traffic, your leads, your sales, whatever it is that's your focus. So if you like Tim's video, request a review and get one that's even better than that. So yeah, hop onto the YouTube channel, watch the no-cut teardowns, and then request a review straight after.
Absolutely. Some great advice. The best advice of November 2021 to date. So yeah, really quickly, let's talk about just driving some good traffic back to this website. Now, it was really good to see, actually. So organic fertilizer, this website is actually ranking on the first page within Google. It was really quite surprising to see that. And yeah, we can see that there's a lot of really great search terms here just from the first few in which they're ranking for. So organic fertilizers, 1,600 search on a monthly basis. They're in position 5 for that. And undoubtedly, not undoubtedly, but if I was to make a recommendation, this would actually be driving quite a lot of high intent traffic back across the website. It's super on point. It's one of their key product search terms, I'd say, for exactly what it is they sell. And those are the keywords and search terms which you want to be going after in your mix of keywords when you're optimizing the rest of the website. So it's really good to see that. Of course, there's still traffic being left on the table, given the fact that they are a little bit low in position 5 or position 8, depending on the if you add an S to the end of the keyword. So I'd be focusing on making sure the on-site SEO is really good. You've got all that targeting in your page titles, metas, H1 tags, and maybe even building knowledge-based content around these sort of search terms. So what is natural plant fertilizer? Why is it good for my garden? Why is it a healthy alternative? Why is it vegan? And that can be a really great way just to give Google more of a sign that your website is that relevant search query for that product in which you're, of course, selling.
I just did a search for organic fertilizer, and the top PPC, the Google ad, is organic manure in Edinburgh.
Oh,
that's just tickled me a little bit.
Are you going to be buying any at the weekend, or just going to leave that?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Just put it in my plant pots, so like this big.
I think as well. In terms of driving targeted traffic, I mean, it'd be good to get your thoughts on this, Dale. I would personally see this business probably going down more the route of Google Shopping, Google Ads, as opposed to Facebook.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, people seeing organic fertilizer might on their Facebook feed or on Instagram, they might be interested if you can get the targeting on point. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a product that people go searching for rather than will buy on an impulse. Yeah,
no, definitely. And yeah, the great thing about Google Ads, Google Shopping is if you are on a little bit more of a restricted budget, I would typically recommend that you go to the place where people are already searching for your products instead of trying to find those audiences on Facebook, making sure you've got really nice looking ad images, really nice calls to actions or site linking extensions within Google Ads, and then just really making sure you're monitoring all that data as it comes back to the site as well. I speak to a lot of business owners which have a really good website. They're driving traffic back across, but that's really where they stop. They don't optimize too many of the campaigns. They don't really understand things such as your target cost per acquisition. how much they can afford to invest to generate these sales. So understanding those metrics before launching campaigns, it's really important. Do you know if we have any good videos on that topic, Dale? Around
Which topic?
PPC and making sure you understand, I guess, the business maths behind PPC.
Well, there's a playlist on our channel which is what is PPC, but there was a whole there's a playlist called Learn Pay-Per-Click Advertising, if I remember correctly, and that'll have all of our PPC-based videos. And I think in there's a video about like remarketing, which is an often overlooked type of pay-per-click advertising or display advertising. So yeah, definitely recommend going and watching that. Before we just continue, there was a question about love the idea of multimedia, but are embedded videos better than GIFs due to file size and page speed? Well, really, like GIFs are going to be, it really depends on the quality of the GIF and how well compressed that is as well. There are like certain tricks you can do, like there's something called lazy loading, which means that the GIF, or video, which would normally be quite a heavy piece of media on your page, you can tell the browser not to actually load it until it comes into view. So the initial experience at the top of the page might load really quickly, and then when you scroll down, it's only then that the browser will know to go fetch that GIF or GIF, or I've had that conversation this week with Jess. GIF, whatever floats your boat. Or video will just load when it comes into view. So there are little bits and tricks you can do in terms of like compression, but it really depends on the quality of the GIF or video you're trying to embed, the size of it, stuff like that. So yeah, it really depends. But what I think, just choose what you think is best for the length of the actual piece. If it's a long thing, go with a video. If it's short, do a GIF. But there's also something called WebP, which is actually like an optimized, it's complicated. Yeah. If you're not sure, speak to our development team who are brilliant with this kind of stuff. So just, go to a website and go to our contacts page and just, send your request over, or you can go to the Exposure Ninja Dojo. So if you're watching us on YouTube, go into the description. There's a link to our Facebook group where you can ask questions just like that, and we'll have them answered by our web development team. And before I let Nick continue, if you haven't hit a like down below yet, I know you haven't because there's 33 people watching and I've only seen 14 likes. To the rest of you, please do make sure you hit like or dislike. It's up to you. I mean, whatever. But it costs you nothing and it's really valuable to us. So please, if you do have a second, hit like down below. Nick, back over to you.
Cool. No, fantastic. And yeah, actually, in the Facebook Dojo feedback, is that what it's called?
Exposure Ninja Dojo.
Exposure Ninja Dojo. Yeah, there was actually some really good questions asked this week on paid advertising as well. So if you are a little bit of maybe a beginner into paid advertising, you're wanting to learn more or have some specific queries, definitely head over into that and ask away, because you're going to get some fantastic advice from the rest of the team there. So moving swiftly on, this next website is a bit of an interesting one, I do have to say. And the reason I personally think it's interesting is because we have a few different routes, at least from what I can tell anyway, in which this site is trying to make revenue or sales or leads. So that sounds a bit vague. So let's dive into it. So my first assumption when I come across this site is that it's a consultancy website, excuse me, to help bread and breakfast owners learn how to actually set up the business, to then sell their business further down the line maybe, or how to increase the amount of customers or patrons who are coming to stay at their houses. So again, it's a bit of an informational site. They offer a consultancy route to go down where people can get in contact and they're going to learn from people who have built bed and breakfast sites. So there's some interesting routes you can go down here. And the reason why I think this website's interesting is because we have the route of the consultancy, but then we've also got a whole section where it looks like they're actually trying to sell individual products as well. So that could be an interesting route of when they get people into the consultancy, say, this is a really great way to run a bed and breakfast. But hey, if you actually are looking for the property to buy as well, hey, you can check out our site and we can actually have that conversation. So the two things I want to look at on this site from a conversion rate optimization perspective, it's going to be optimizing sort of real estate pages to make sure they're working hard for you. But then it's also making sure that with any lead generation contact pages on the website, similar to how we looked earlier with the dental site, they're built in a way in which is going to help to convert as well. So let's get started with this lead generation page. And this is for the consultancy side of the business. So if you're a seller, if you're a buyer, if you're a real estate agent broker, and you want to learn more about how to run a successful bed and breakfast business, then you will be getting in contact with this business and they'll be providing a consultancy route. However, in terms of a call to action, it's, again, right at the bottom of the page. We have to read through or slog through quite a lot of this content. And what I would really recommend is making sure that we have lead generation contact forms in the above the fold space on the featured image section. We've also got a bit more text just explaining exactly what it is, the purpose of this page. So it's really clear to people who come across exactly what they need to do. We've got a really good example website in which our fantastic website development team built for one of our clients. So I'll show you it here. This is Apex Bridging. And it's a simple above the fold process, but you know exactly what you can expect the moment you come across. And we've also got a really nice lead generation contact form as well. And that's just such a direct route in which you're asking people to take that it really just leaves any ambiguity and confusion about what they need to do next for the rest of the site. Would you agree, Dale?
Indeed.
Yes. Cool. Fantastic. So that's a bit of an opportunity, I'd say, for this website, for the consultancy page. Moving on to the, I guess, more of the Rightmove type style page, so where you can actually buy the actual properties or learn more about them. It's a little bit, oh, that's not the right one. That's gone across. So that one's actually gone across to a different link. Here's the one I'm talking about. So what's your initial reactions? This is a page which is trying to sell a bed and breakfast place to me, or sell a bed and breakfast property.
I really want a house like that one day.
I mean, yeah,
we have to,
isn't it? I guess just maybe,
like I really would.
Yeah, just maybe like the layout. Do you think it's laid out in an effective way? Or
no, really no.
Yeah, so
I'm thinking of like some of the similar websites in the UK. Like, so I'm looking to purchase a property at the moment. And I'm looking around like Zoopla, which is obviously a great website in my opinion. Rightmove too. Even like some ones local to me. Like there's ESPC, which is like an Edinburgh-based one or Scotland-based one. They're so well designed because they've done the kind of similar stuff that we do with our website builds. They think about how we say user experience, but how people behave or what people expect to see, what information they want to see first. In this case, they probably tested it and spent thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands on conversion rate optimization and testing and stuff like that. And this is a really well laid out page. Compare that to the one that you were on a second ago, and it's just not great. It's just very dry.
No, absolutely. I really would agree. And I think really, when you're looking to buy a house as well, one of the main things you want to be looking at is images of that actual property. We are pretty limited. It's getting us to click across to another page to have to learn more about them. So again, if the main intent of this actual website is to sell properties or to excite people about the properties, then redesigning these pages so it is following just a bit more of a cleaner layout, which really shows the value behind the property, is going to be super important.
Yeah.
And
if you're going to pay 1.5 million for a bed and breakfast or a house or whatever, you think there'd be a little bit more thought put into the website? Like,
I would agree.
I'd be expecting way more. I know the realty system in the US is different, so it's going to be probably a whole other things that perhaps we're not considering. But when it comes to websites, I don't think there are many agencies that are better than us when it comes to understanding how people think and how people convert. And I just don't think this website has got it. Sorry if you're watching. But that's why you submitted your website, and that's why you're here. So I think definitely. Somebody said in the chat, like the image above the fold should definitely be full width. That, and there should be like 50 images. I mean, you were on the Rightmove website a second ago. I like how they have their images set up so you can see one image and you can start clicking through, or go to a full page view of those by clicking on them. I really like that system.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just such a more clean layout, and we've got the key features behind the actual property as well, which
love that.
You always want to know at a first glance. So I would say there's, again, quite a few more recommendations for this website for conversion rate optimization. And I think really just making it a little bit clearer around what the route is I need to go the moment I come across. Like if you want people to get in touch for consultancy, make sure we've got lead generation contact forms. If you want people to view the actual properties, make sure we've got calls to actions going across there. So it feels like we've got a bit of a mix in terms of intent for this site. And I think just being a little bit more specific would really quite help.
Yeah, before you just go on, we do have Christy, who's the marketing director of B&B Consulting. So they're here to answer questions. Great to see you.
Cool.
On your question, you had a question about how you can compress our images. Yeah. I'm not really sure which system you're on. Is it? Sorry, let me just. Is it B&B Consulting? I haven't got the address in front of me.
Looks like WordPress.
WordPress. Okay, cool. So you can very much use a tool called Short Pixel, which I'm not sure if we're using on our own website right now. We have in the past, but basically you just use it as a plugin in the back end. You pay for a certain amount of images to be compressed, and then you can basically, as you can see on here, there's a before and after compression example of, you can really not tell at all if the image has been compressed or not, so down from 260 kilobytes down to 65, that's a massive reduction. There are other tools available as well, but I find historically Short Pixel is a pretty decently priced website, and it's super easy to use. So I'm going to swap back over images and then grab the URL for you, Christy, in just a second. So Nick, I'm going to jump back over to you now.
Cool. Fantastic. And Christy, really good to see you here as well. Thanks for submitting the site. One of the things you wanted to learn more about as well was getting more traffic back to the site. And this is it's a very niche space, to say the least. And what you really need to make sure you're doing is you're capitalizing on the relatively small amount of traffic for people who are searching for advice, guidance, and how to run a B&B, especially those really specific search terms. And you need to make sure that you're really providing a lot of value to them. So I did take a look through some of the blog content on the website as well. I mentioned this earlier on when we were looking at another one of the sites, really making sure that you have active calls to actions. So really making sure that as people are checking this out, you have sections dedicated towards it, like we saw on the Exposure Ninja site. I would say there is a little bit more room to just improve that here as well. And some of the articles or topics in which we're taking a look at, I can see the angle you're going down around why a potential bed and breakfast owner would find it really useful to maybe learn more about this. But again, I think the real search terms, or the real search terms to go after are going to be those such as like how to start a bed and breakfast. A really good example of this is Little Hotelier. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Hotelier. But anyway, they've created a whole piece of content around this specific topic. They have a call to action to get people signed up straight away. The way they're going into a lot of information, a lot of depth, really breaking things down. They have ebooks on
calls to action. I like that call to action placement. Very nicely done.
No.
Not that one, but yeah, that.
Oh, the one at the bottom, or?
No, the one you can see now, download the ebook. So for those who are watching who aren't really familiar, to me, there are two types of conversion or like call to action you can use. There's the cold lead and the warm lead. So the cold lead is someone who's like really at the beginning of the buyer journey, and they haven't really, they're doing all their research about, how to run a B&B, or how to get started, or how to open a second B&B, stuff like that. Those kind of queries, you can offer them an ebook and, get their information into your system. You can then send them follow-up emails or give them a call, depending on what your requirements are to get that ebook, if you ask them for an email or a phone number. And then there's the warm lead, as somebody who you can offer something to, like a free consultation, or it might be an even deeper guide about like how to run 25 B&Bs profit. I don't know. There's something like if you do your buyer research, you'll know what kind of queries or like the mindset of the person deeper, further down the funnel. You can offer something to them, but have something that's more broad, like what you need to know about getting into the B&B business, and then you can have something super specific, really close to the the getting in touch with you or buying a property stage, where you can offer them something else instead.
Yeah, that's some absolutely fantastic advice, and I think as well, because there is a relatively small amount of search volume for the consultancy side of the business, it's making sure that any content you create around that as well, you're really assessing what's in the marketplace, what the competitors are doing, and then really trying to take it to that next step, just to outperform it, make sure it's 1,000 times more valuable, It's 1,000 times more engaging. It provides just such a great read to people that a Google will see you as being that relevant website to post there as well. We can see that it does look like within the States you are generating some traffic, which is good to see. And again, a lot of these are actually going back across to more of the commercial side of the business, so the actual properties. So North Carolina, bed and breakfast for sale, B&B consulting. Good to see a branded search term there. But again, I do think there is just quite a lot of opportunity here to really increase the informational search terms people are looking for the type of service you offer, and making sure that you're creating that content around that more. Cool. Fantastic. Trying to see if I have any further notes on this one. Better blog, right move, right example. Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, those are the key opportunities to pick for that one. We've got 4 minutes left, Dale.
I can go over by a couple of minutes if there's something else you want to cover. Otherwise, we can take some questions. It's entirely up to you, Nick.
Oh, I'm happy to do either. I'll just quickly jump across to this final website that submitted a review.
Do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, there was this one again. It had the question of not getting enough sales, and this is quite a high-end luxury premium brand. I don't think I've spoken about one of these before on stream, so I think it'd be quite interesting to dive into it. And just to give you a bit of a background, so essentially it's, I mean, you can see from the website, from the video, they're really trying to position themselves as like premium, high-end sort of party style wine, essentially. And,
I wasn't sure if they were selling wine or bottles. I was.
Well, the bottles look pretty cool, don't they? But it's
different.
I mean, I know I always ask you this.
It's moving so fast, though. I just can't. It's. I'm sure that's probably what you're going to talk about next, but I generally can't focus on what is going on or what I'm being pitched.
Well, yeah, and I know I think it's a sort of common joke, isn't it? Sliders and also videos in the above the fold space. I know your thoughts on those, and I think if they're detracting from getting people to actually check out the product more, or if it's just causing loading issues, then to kind of avoid them generally is what we'd recommend, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you want to have a website that is just brand led because that's where your business is at that point. But for the majority of businesses, they need to focus more on getting your offering across, like making it really clear what your brand position is in terms of like, this is what I'm offering you, and this is why you need to have it because it tastes great, or it will make you look cool in this case, I presume.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, I mean, in terms of some website improvements, I think below the fold, there's a lot of really good stuff going on here. We've got the website layout itself looks nice. We're boosting credibility with the use of, excuse me, got a bit of a cough today, with the use of third-party brands, which is really nice to see. We've actually got the products. But one thing which we are missing, at least in the above the fold space on the site, and really whenever it comes to websites where you're selling something edible, I guess is the right word, or something you can drink or something you can taste, you need to get emotive with the language you're using. Consumable, there we go. But you need to get emotive, don't you? You need to get people excited about actually making that purchase, like trying to describe what the flavors are going to be like to them. And what we're really using here is the best grapes from different vintages. The bottle comes beautifully packaged, perfect yourself as a gift. So I think adding more information like dark flavors or earthy tones, I mean, that something like that. I don't really drink wine.
Earth tones, people. Earth tones.
I don't really drink wine, but just something which is it's gonna allow me to like kind of taste it through the screen. Just giving people a good example of that is going to be really important, especially when it is. I'm not too sure what. I think that's Swedish francs.
Yeah, Swedish francs. That's £34. Well,
okay.
One-time purchase of 41 Swiss francs is about £34.
Was that off the top of your head as well?
Yep.
Wow.
Of course it's not. I've got
oh.
Google in the other window.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But to me, I mean, I don't think I'm your target market, but if I was going to be spending a little bit more on that I normally would spend on a bottle of wine, having more descriptive language is really important. One last thing I want to talk about before jumping off is within this specific niche, I think there's a lot of opportunity with influencer marketing. I took a little bit of a look through. There's some fantastic YouTube websites out there which are just specifically out there to provide people guidance on the wines in which they're drinking, what they should know about buying them. So maybe reaching out to some of these influencers, seeing if you can actually get features on them, that would be really awesome. And if moving away from the video side of things, there's a lot of great websites as well. This one in particular, robertparker.com. It's just a massive site which basically just provides great information on wine. I think it's an affiliate site as well, so it gets sales if people purchase the wines they're talking about. But getting your website, brand and products featured on sites such as this, if it is a brand which is in, again, those quite early stages and you need to generate the buzz, it can be a good way to get it seen by more people, but on sites which already have that authority and trust there as well. Alongside, the typical routes of trying and testing with paid ads. I think Facebook and Instagram could work here, especially with the video content you have. Again, building that luxury lifestyle, and over time, working harder with the SEO to try and increase those organic search terms you're ranking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that kind of sticks out to me right now, or like comes to mind, is the time of year that we're in. It's a time of year where people are doing things like gifting wine or taking wine to parties or, stuff like that. So gift guides are something that are popping up right now. And, I understand that the majority of gift guides people see are like for, £5, £10, £15, £20 products. But it's not the case. If you go to the Cosmopolitan website, they do gift guides around Christmas as well, or like, important seasonal stuff around this time, or, what to buy for X person at this time of year, or what to buy for 40th birthday party, or blah, blah, blah. You could definitely reach out to the right people and have this wine featured in their wine gift guide or Christmas gift guide, or things to take to a Christmas party or dinner party. There's so many angles you can go down with that, and just start to have more people see your brand and think, oh yeah. And the good thing about doing that, one thing you can try and do is have all of those pieces go out around about the same time. So when people are doing their research, they're seeing your name repeatedly throughout that day or that week, and they think, oh wow, maybe I should pay attention to this because their name seems to be everywhere today. And then you get them through to your website, they don't convert straight away, no problem. You're going to hit them with remarketing via Facebook or Instagram, which is better for more like the impulse purchases, maybe TikTok as well. There's definitely a lifestyle kind of thing to this. So, get onto TikTok as well, maybe Snapchat if that still exists. According to the ads that I'm getting targeted with at the moment, Snapchat seems to still be a thing. They definitely want me to download their app. Anyway, yeah, that's a really interesting site. I'd actually be really curious to look at what kind of digital strategy we could put together for that website. So if this is your website, if you haven't already requested a free marketing review, go to exposureninja.com/review, submit your business information there. We'll get in touch with you and send you a personalized video about your goals. And if you're lucky, you'll get Nick. And Nick will take you through the kinds of things that we do to improve your fortune and try and get you as many sales in this important seasonal period. I just realized that we've got to do the draw for the book. So we're going to do that right now. Here we go. I'm going to swap Nick around for me. Where am I? Apparently I've gone. Pop me back up there. Do this. Hello. Cool. So we're going to do the giveaway for how to get to the top of Google. If you haven't dropped a comment in the live chat yet, now is your opportunity to do so. And you'll get automatically entered into the draw. There are 21 people who have entered anything into the chat. You can say something nice, say something, just be polite. That's all I ask. And yeah, I'll do the draw in about 30 seconds time. If you've already commented and you've if you've already, so I just got distracted by something curious in front of me, and that's going to be my secret. If you haven't already, hit like down below. It lets us know that you're enjoying these streams. If you're already not subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe as well. It costs you nothing. And if you're not impressed, I will refund you that money. So it costs £0 and I will give you £0 back. Another question I have for the chat, if since you're here, is there any kind of stream that you would like us to do in future? So if you have been around for a while, you know that we've been doing these live website reviews for a while. We do the webinars where we talk about conversion rate optimization. Soon there's going to be an SEO or search engine optimization one. We've also been doing the fix and rebuild stream, in which we tear down websites in rapid pace and tell you if we're going to fix it or rebuild it. Is there any other kind of live stream you'd like to see us do? Let me know in the chat, and we'll see if we can fit that in as well. Any subjects you want us to cover, let us know. Now's your opportunity because we're coming into a busy period. And yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to hit draw on here. So good luck to everyone. Let's bring Nick back in.
I think our luck it'll be someone from Exposure Ninja, won't it?
Yeah, guaranteed. Fortunately, we do have that draw again. Yeah, Freddie, I think is Freddie on next week? No, it's a week after. I think Freddie's in. Fantastic. So Christy from BMB Consulting. We're going to send you a copy of the book. All you have to do is email me here at dailyexposureninja.com and tell me if you prefer to have a paperback sent to you, or if you prefer an audiobook via Audible, I can do that too, or PDF if you just want something you can look at today. I can do that as well. So just send me an email and I'll sort that out. And I just hope everyone has a great weekend. Nick, thank you ever so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you on the stream. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all next Friday. Take care, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.